Hi, I'm Danielle Dietrich, and today I'm going to talk to you about DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, ownership held in trust. So, this is a question that I have gotten many times over the years about can DBE owners put their ownership in trust? Or, I've seen a situation where folks want to put the ownership of a business in trust to help pass it down to future generations and just for various accounting and tax purposes. So, many business owners, they're smart, are consulting with their accountants and tax professionals and estate planning folks on a regular basis about how to accomplish their financial goals, take care of future generations, etc. But sometimes what the advice is there conflicts with the DBE rules. So just like in a prior video where I talked about taking on investors and how, that's generally a good thing for a business, but how mechanics of that often run afoul of the DBE program. Similar here, it's a great thing to plan for the future, to plan for taxes, to plan for your estate, for passing on to the future, but those things conflict with the DBE rules sometimes. So the prior iteration of the DBE regulations that was in effect until May 9th of 2024 specifically discussed the two ways in which a disadvantaged owner could be permitted to hold their ownership in a trust. So the first exception that allowed this was when the beneficial owner of the trust holding the ownership is a disadvantaged individual and they also act as the trustee. So if there was a sole beneficial owner of the trust who also served as its trustee, the business could qualify for DBE certification. And so the second exception that would allow ownership to be held in trust was when the beneficial owner of the trust was disadvantaged and actively exercised effective control over the management, policy making, and daily operational activities of the firm rather than the trustee. That situation was more complex and required substantial evidence to prove. It was just a little bit messier. So, in the new DBE regulations that went into effect on May 9th, 2024, there is no mention of whether ownership of a DBE may be held in trust. It just is left out. So, whereas it was specifically addressed in the old regulations, new regulations are silent. I've even combed through the preamble to the new regulations, and that's where it talks about a lot of the changes and why they made them or didn't make changes. It makes no interest of a trust owning an interest in a DBE. Trusts are only mentioned in the new regulations when it comes to how they are accounted for personal net worth purposes and gifting. So, what does that mean? It's like it disappeared. So, while the US DOT has not issued any guidance specific as to trusts, nor have there been any decisions that have made their way through the appeal process that deal with trusts, I would argue that the new Section 26.63B allows one level of ownership above an operating DBE company. So that's like a holding company. I would turn there for the answer. To me, I would say that a trust would be the same situation. However, all of the explanations and examples refer to parent companies and make no mention of trusts. So it's anyone's guess. This rule is not as clear as many owners would like. I'm hoping we'll see some guidance soon, particularly since it was not specifically addressed. If they were with getting rid of the ability to hold a DBE ownership and trust under those certain circumstances, wouldn't they have affirmatively said that somewhere would be my position. So this is a murky situation that I wanted to put out there for anyone who does hold their DBE ownership interest in a trust or who is considering putting it in a trust. For those of you considering, it might be risky at this moment until we get some more clarification, and I can't tell you when that will be. So stay tuned. But these are, food for thought, things to think of as you're making decisions involving your business. If you have more questions or want to seek legal advice in this matter, please reach out to me. I love working with DBEs to resolve these issues.